Hello, New Horizons. Welcome to a music class review. No, you're not confused. This is not an 80s workout video. Miss Susie just really needs to cover up those roots. I'm sure moms are going to understand. I'm going to be reviewing our music notes. I know some of you older students have done this many times, but it's good to keep it fresh. So I'm going to review Mr. Everybody's Musical Apartment. And I hope you make the connection that they are actually music notes and not just a silly story. So if you are lucky enough to have a whiteboard, an erasable whiteboard, that's always fun. I don't have one here at home. I'm using paper. I'm going to go over my music lines a little darker so that you can see. So paper will work, and you can get multiple sheets so you can do it a few times if you want to. So your first thing you're going to need is a piece of paper or a whiteboard turned wide, turn that way, and you're going to need 5 lines. Very important that you have your 5 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, so Mr. Everybody's Musical Apartment refers to what's called the treble clef. Treble clef is that fun symbol to draw. We've gone over this before. I'm not going to spend too much time. I know that looks tiny. My feet are small. The treble clef. All right, and for those of you that play piano or other instruments, treble clef for piano would be the right hand notes. There's totally different rules for the bass clef or other clefs. So these rules apply to the treble clef. Once upon a time, there was a man who knew everybody and everybody knew him. They called him Mr. Everybody, or Mr. E for short. And Mr. Everybody owned a condo building that had 5 floors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Much like if you go to a hotel or any building, the first floor, the bottom floor is always the first floor. And it goes up, first floor, second floor, third floor, fourth floor, fifth floor. Mr. Everybody lived on the bottom floor. Okay, that's Mr. Everybody. Now this is pretty small, but you can make him a face if you want to. Give him a little smiley face, however you want to do that. I know this is tiny, but you've seen me do it a million times, especially you 3rd graders. All right, so Mr. Everybody doesn't need this whole building by himself. Oh, remind me, he calls the condo Troubleville. So that's the roof. So he's got this whole big building, so he rents each floor out to some boys, a boy per floor. So the second floor, he rents to a boy who always pays his rent on time. He doesn't have crazy parties or play loud music or stomp around. He cleans up. He is a good guy. He is a very good guy. He lives on the 2nd floor. I'm going to pull you in. Notice how these, both Mr. Everybody and Good Guy, they cross the line. That means that they are line notes. You obviously know these are music notes. They are line notes. They live right on the floor. So let's give Good Guy, we'll give him a hat. He's a very good guy. Now on the 3rd floor is a boy who does not pay his rent on time. He's very messy. He plays his music way too loud and disturbs his neighbors. He is a bad boy. He is also a line note. I'm going to give him some kind of mischievous looking eyebrows, and it's hard to do this with marker, and I'll give him a little crooked smile. Maybe a little bit of hair. And you can see that he is mischievous looking. It might not show up with these thick lines, but yes, give him those angry eyebrows. He is a bad boy. Bad boy. So we've got Mr. Everybody, which everybody starts with E. Bad boy starts with B. And, I'm sorry, oops, scratch that. Good guy starts with G. Bad boy starts with B. So we've got E, G, and B. Then on the fourth floor, we have an unusual guy whose eyeballs are shaped like the letter D, and his mouth is shaped like the letter D for some reason. He deserves a break. We just need the word deserves in there. So, Mr. Deserves, he's on the fourth floor. All right, and finally, the boy who lives on the top floor. He's a friendly guy that loves to cook and eat fudge. In fact, many times when you see this guy, he has fudge all over his face. He is Fudge Face. Give him some curly hair, and he's got fudge all over him. Fudge Face F. So we've got Mr. Everybody, good guy, bad boy, Mr. Deserves, and Fudge Face. Those letters, E, G, B, D, and F. Now, the apartment building is also haunted. There are some ghosts that live between the floors. They live in the spaces, and that's as important to know the difference between line notes and space notes. Now, I'm going to make them ghost-shaped, but please remember that they are notes. They should not be shaped like ghosts, except for in the story. I'm going to go ahead and draw the ghosts in the spaces. There's 4 spaces. All right, now the ghost that lives on the bottom floor, he likes to make funny faces to make the boys laugh. He is Funny Face. All right, let's see. Give him crazy eyeballs looking in different directions. He's got his tongue sticking out. Bring you in so you can see silly Funny Face. Funny Face. Now the ghost on the second space, he's a little bit more mischievous. He plays tricks on the boys and tries to scare them. He does kind of mean stuff like will rearrange the boys' furniture or hide their car keys and just really play lots of mean pranks. He is always awful. Always awful. Again, we're going to give him a mischievous face, maybe a kind of angry eyebrows there. Make him look like he's always awful. Now the ghost on the third space came all the way from Mexico to live in this condo. He wears a sombrero. And his name is Cece, the Mexican ghost. He's a friendly ghost that says CC all the time, and that's C with the letter C, not with an S. CC. And my favorite ghost lives in the top space. He's the creepy one. Late at night, you can hear the noises that sound like this. He says the letter E late at night. He's eerie. So we're going to give him a traditional ghost face. And then he says E. I'm going to leave this right here for a second. I know this isn't as detailed as when I do it on the board at school, but we are making do in these times. So if you want to pause it, if you want to draw your own ghosts and boys, you can decorate them however you like. Just remember, the boys live on the lines and the ghosts live in the spaces. Now, we can't forget our favorite pets. Some of the boys have pets that live down in the basement. Many apartments or condos have laundry rooms down in the basement, and this one does too. And there's also a clothesline. Sometimes people hang their clothes on a line to dry. So there's a clothesline down in the basement. And one of the boys has a cat that loves to climb up and walk on the clothesline. Now, everybody knows cats can get in tight spaces and they're agile and they can walk around on really skinny surfaces. And cats can get away with that. And this cat loves to do that. He is a crazy cat. So many times you can see him balancing on the clothesline. Give him some whiskers, happy eyeballs, a smile. He's a crazy cat. Bring you in. See that crazy cat. It's important that his head not be touching the ceiling of the condo. He's down on the clothesline. All right, well, of course, one of the boys has a dog. And we know it's not nice to call anybody dumb. That's not nice at all, but for the story, the dog is not very smart, and I'll tell you why. He's not very smart because he doesn't realize that dogs can't balance the way cats can, and so when he chases the cat, he tries to chase him up on the clothesline, and he ends up hanging onto the rafters of the ceiling for dear life. He is stuck to the ceiling. So, there he is, head stuck to the ceiling. See how he's a little bit above the cat? I'm going to add, sorry if it's shaky, I'm going to add him some floppy ears, little goofy eyeballs, a tongue hanging out, and his name is Dumb Dog, even though that's not nice. Maybe we could say Dingy Dog, Ditzy Dog. He's ditzy. All right, so to review, we've got Mr. Everybody E, Good Guy G, Bad Boy B, Mr. Deserves D, Fudge Face F, and then the ghosts. Funny Face, Always Awful, oh, Funny Face F, Always Awful A, C, and Eerie E. Then we've got a cat that also starts with a C, and dog that also starts with a D. And you'll notice in the musical alphabet, letters do repeat. They go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So even in the story, there's 2 E's, there's 2 D's, and there's 2 C's. And if we made a bigger story, there'd be even more. So that's part of it. That's part of music. All right, so to finish up, Mr. Everybody was getting really frustrated because some of the boys were not paying their rent on time. So he got together with Fudgeface and decided that they would make fudge for every boy who paid their rent on time. Well, even Bad Boy loves fudge, and it motivated him to pay his rent on time. And so everybody got it in, and Mr. Everybody decided that every good boy deserved fudge. And you can use that sentence whenever you are trying to think of a music note, you use that sentence. Every good boy deserves fudge. And you'll definitely use this in recorder when you can't think of a note. And I'll say, what line's it on? What's the sentence? That's the sentence you use. For space notes, the first letter of the ghost's name spell out a word. What word does their name spell? Funny Face, F. Always Awful, A. C, Eerie, E. It spells the word face. So for space notes, you use the word face from the bottom up. F-A-C-E, face. And then down in the basement, you've got cat, C, dog, D. And that one's pretty easy. All right, I hope you enjoyed this review. I miss everybody very much, and I hope to see you all soon. See you later.